Hi Libra, welcome to my channel. Libra month of May would bring focus to your joint finances, to your earnings, other than regular income like through investments, taxes, insurance, inheritances, wills, loans. They would come into focus, and along with that, it's the period to weed out any addictions, any negative things, and move forward for the eclipses end of May or June. A bit lighter, a bit stronger. As you get a boost in June on your adventures, on your travel, education, legalization, publication, and expansion with the 10th of June eclipse, which is going to add some adventure, some travel, some education, some legalization, publication, and expansion to your life. It would come with some amount of reworks and some potential miscommunication that needs to be straightened out end of May and June. But first, in May, we're going to focus on finances and expenses. Jupiter would be moving in your house of health and work, easing both of them out and helping you find solutions on both. Starting from 13th of May, we would see full benefit of this transit in 2022, but we're going to get a good preview of that. We go deeper into all of this today. This is part 2 of the video. Please do review part 1, for which I will leave the link in the description along with the key dates of this month. My name is Charu and I'm your host on this journey. So let's dig in. Libra, starting from end of April itself, money, assets, your talents and your self-esteem has become a focus. There's increased ambition and even drive to enhance your assets and your net worth. Uranus might bring some significant new ideas in that direction, but not from regular sources of income. The new moon of 11th of May brings fresh energy into this house of earnings from other sources, not from regular income. Benefits will come through new sources, through innovative sources from others, and it's bringing opportunities also to merge with some unique others. As a sign, you're more gainful when you combine your resources and assets with others, when your ideas linked to investments are coming through discussions with others, when you merge your talents with others. Uranus in the house of income from other sources does support gains from investments, even stock market, but you have Saturn in the house of risk taking, so we would have to be a little bit careful of the risk being taken. As long as we stick to the Saturn principle of going methodically into things, researching things thoroughly, not going overboard in our risk style, this can be a good time for investments, for stock market, for gains from other sources other than your regular income. The new moon of 11th of May is not just triggering resources though. It's also triggering a transformation. And Uranus, which is now in your house of transformation, is very comfortable. It's easing certain life changes which previously might have seemed tough. It is also changing possibly the resources of your spouse or the resources of your partners. It could be business or personal. It's also bringing to surface the passions and desires you have, many of which were possibly suppressed either under social pressures or fear. You are rising above it and boldly asking for life for what you truly want. Uranus here triggers sudden shifts in life where our position is changed, where our position in relationships is changed, where our position in joint finances is changed, where our position of power is suddenly changed. It's like when suddenly we are put in a position of power, where we feel out of element, yet we need to take on that new role in life. It's very much part of our future progression. It makes us bolder, it makes us stronger, and it brings our suppressed personality traits to surface. Uranus has been here since 2019, and the first 10 degrees of Libra or September born Libra Sun might have already experienced an event which would have put them in this position where they need to display their power and their hidden strength. At a physical level, this transit also triggers a purge, a detox of our diet, of our life in some ways, of things that have been silently bothering you before this and even blocking you, both in your career, in your financials, and in your health. And from that weeding out process, you fully come into yourself. With the new moon on 11th of May, from this place of power, we take a fresh new step forward. New rules of the road, new game plan. When it comes to our resources, when it comes to give and take in partnership, the returns of our personal and professional partnerships is shifting. And it's also triggering a physical transformation. How we look, how we present, how we come across to others in our joint partnerships is shifting. This new moon triggers an evolution for you, a purification, a letting go of an old phase of life. It's also triggering health and healing, which is the part of the physical transformation that you're undergoing. A change in lifestyle, a change in your partnerships in terms of both the financial dynamics as well as the depth. How we merge financially with others and our power dynamics in relationships is shifting. Raw material and assets you've been collecting so far and working on, they start taking new form, and you will nurture this new moon, this new financial start, and this new start in give and take and returns on relationships in a very, very powerful fashion. The new moon is happening at 21 degree. Though most of you will feel it, but the new start would be most prominent for Libra rising sun or moon around 21 degree or around 13th of October born Libra. I highly recommend to start a new detox if you feel that your body is driven to it with this new moon of 11th of May. While we are in this process of detoxing, weeding out, starting the new, much stronger and powerful give and take and returns on relationship and financial reality, an adventure is cooking in the background with a few fated encounters on 10th, 17th, and 31st of May. These fated encounters of 10th, 17th, and 31st of May are working towards the June eclipse you are about to have in your house of adventure and expansion. A new start in your house of adventure and expansion with the 10th of June eclipse, which you'll start feeling towards the end of this month. These fated encounters, they beckon adventure, they beckon travel, they beckon expansion, higher education, expansion of mind, publication, learning, relocation, or legalization, leading you to a road very less traveled. There might be some reworks and discussions, some back and forth, especially in documentation, which will be required in the early part of June due to Mercury retrograde between 28th of May to 22nd of June, which could bring some amount of especially visa, legalization, or publication related reworks, because there's more information that comes to surface in terms of what is needed to make it happen. But encounters with certain foreign person or a person of different background or some fated travel or even discussion with relocation linked authorities or discussion with the mentor, a father figure, on 10th, 17th, and 31st of May can bring some faded facts to surface, which can move you closer to that new adventure. I would be careful on legal matters, especially after 14th of May. If you're writing something, for example, when we are publishing something, just be sure of putting all the disclaimers and all the sources, etc. Just purely for trying to get the details right, because when we are trying to go through something more expansive, there are always some minor things that are left out. So I'll be careful on legal front. I'll be careful on legal requirements if you're working on relocation or travel. If you are traveling in June, starting in fact from 28th of May, so end of May, early June, I would stay flexible on the travel requirements and schedule at that time. There could be certain travel related disruptions that can happen towards end of May and early June. Jupiter moves into its own sign this month as well. That is one of the most fabulous aspects which is happening this month, and we are just seeing a preview of that because Jupiter is here for a very brief moment right now from 13th of May to 28th of July, and then it will fully settle down in this sign, which is Pisces, in 2022. This is your house of work and health, which Jupiter is going to add ease to and expansion to. It creates opportunities for expansion in both work, makes the work environment easier, and supports improvement in health, especially in finding solutions for any past issues that you might have been facing without knowing the root cause of those health issues, which is fairly common because you have Neptune in your house of health. So there's always some amount of confusion over health issues. I spoke of the benefit of this Jupiter transit in our March video. I will leave the link in the description if you'd like to go deeper into it to find out how it would benefit you, not just now between 13th of May to 28th of July, but also in 2022 when it will fully play out. Towards the end of the month, Saturn, the planet of structure, would be standing still in your house of self-expression on 23rd of May. It will go retrograde till 10th of October. So the period between 23rd of May till October will be a period when we will be restructuring our self-expression. If you are involved in any creative fields, those creative ventures could require some amount of rules, regulations, some boundaries to make the foundations firmer. This is also the period when we restructure our risk-taking appetite. If you're investing, for example, in stock market, what is your risk boundaries for that? So we'll be working on creating certain right foundations of our lucrative hobbies, creativity, as well as our investments. Our risk-taking appetite needs some new rules of the road. So your adventures are not just exciting, but they're lucrative and resilient as well. It will also be the period between 23rd of May to 10th of October when we will ask this question, where did we say yes when we should have said no? In love, in creativity, in children, in risk-taking. Saturn wants us to be very realistic in our risk-taking endeavors, and that would be emphasized on the way to this transit starting 23rd of May. Both in our personal life and professional, where we're taking risks on our heart, for example in love, with children, or business adventures, or creative hobbies. Saturn also wants us to get serious about our talents. So far if we have been casual about certain skills we have, certain creative hobbies we have, which can actually become lucrative moving forward. Or if we have been frivolous in investments, in stock market, etc., Saturn would ask us to put a structure to it so it becomes more long lasting, becomes more, in some ways, more resilient and lucrative for you. This is in positive aspect with you. So this is a easier transit of Saturn. If there are creative businesses you have been aiming to launch, or there's something you've been looking to give birth to, it could be a child, it could be a romance, it could be a business that is close to you, Saturn would ask you to set up some right boundaries and rules for it to make it happen. It will give you also the discipline to make it happen. Progress doesn't stop. In fact, it becomes more streamlined. But instead of it being an external revamp, you might need to work on it behind the surface to some extent. You'll be putting some basic building blocks, reinforcing by reviewing, especially if you require authority approvals, or you require more funding, or you require more robust financing underpinning. You'll be looking at the rules of the road. I went into detail of Saturn being in your house of creativity, in your house of risk-taking this year, all the way till 2023, early 2023, in your 2021 video. I'll link that in the description. It's a very lucrative transit for you, but it needs to be handled in the right way. Especially this year, Saturn in your house of creativity, in your house of self-expression, love, children, risk-taking, is clashing with your need to transform. You need to take more risk. You need to create more value through unique financial ventures. And that is going to play out throughout 2021, but it will become stronger towards the end of the month as Saturn is going retrograde, and Saturn will square Uranus, which is becoming exact on 14th of June. Do review that video to sort of be prepared for that exact square on 14th of June. Libra, this is the month of few surprises, twists and turns. Some you might have experienced and some are upcoming. But as I've said before, in Saturn and Aquarius transit, we are going to create something that we can hold on to any volatile moment of our life. You would be working on foundations of that, especially the financial foundations of that in the month of May. And then we have the adventure awaiting us in June. Good luck for that, Libra, and I'll see you in the next video now. Thank you.